You may be seated. Good evening. How's everyone doing? That's not true. Good evening, President Walker Myers, members of the New Haven Board of Alder's, fellow New Haven residents and guests. It is good to be together again and to provide yet another update to New Haven on the state of our city. While I always feel proud of our city, at this moment in time, I feel particularly proud of New Haven. We're tackling difficult challenges, particularly with the thoughtfulness that each challenge requires. We're working together as a team, from the mayor's office to the Board of Alders to our state and federal delegations to members of our community to ensure that we make progress towards our shared vision where everyone in our city has the opportunity to thrive. And perhaps most importantly in this moment, we are firm in our resolve to defend our shared values, a city that welcomes everyone, a city that supports people looking for a second chance, a city that sees the potential in someone when they may not have seen it yet in themselves, and a city that stands up to those outside of our community who try to divide us. Don't you feel proud of our city in this moment? I want to go back to a year ago in my last State of City address, which, first of all, I think we can all agree was a little bit long, Madam President. We've tried to trim things back a bit tonight, and I emphasize a bit. I emphasize housing, as you recall, and we have made so much progress since then. This past year, New Haven yet again led the state with over 500 new housing permits. New housing is being built in every neighborhood all over the city. When other municipalities say no growth or no affordable housing in my backyard, we open our doors, say, come on into New Haven, build in our city and be a part of our diverse community. Together this past year, we've built over 1,000 new housing units, with over 40% of those affordable. And we're seeing many long-term affordable housing developments that are deeply important to the neighborhoods in which they reside start to come to fruition. The Beulah Land Development Corporation project on Dixwell Avenue, Alder Streeter, Beacon Communities project on State Street and the former New Haven Coliseum site, Alder Rodriguez, the residents at Canal Place, Alder Morrison, the beautifully renovated townhomes in West Rock, Alder Smith, Concat Place on Dixwell Avenue and Winchester Green and Science Park, again, Alder Streeter, Alder Edwards, and in Madam President's very own ward, the Cofield Estate, which was beautiful. I drove by there yesterday. It's coming online soon. And we just broke ground on Monarch Apartments too. And that's just the beginning, right? That's just the beginning. We have over 7,000 new units in the pipeline, with over 25% of those affordable. 7,000 new units in the pipeline. That's just incredible. From Union Square to St. George to the old Strong School on Grand Avenue, the list goes on. Our development team, led by Mike Piscatelli and our Olivia Samuel, is rocking it at this time when, frankly, interest rates are nearly at a 25-year high. New Haven is growing. And let's be ambitious. Let's be ambitious. By 2034, as we journey towards being the largest city in Connecticut, a city of 150,000 people, and to ensure affordable housing for all of our residents, let's set a goal here today to build 10,000 new units of housing, with at least 30% of those units affordable. 10,000 units in 10 years. I know we can do it. Do you think we can do it? I want to be clear why growth is so important. The state needs 110,000 new housing units just to meet the current demand. And that's according to a new statewide report commissioned by the state legislature that was released this past week. If we do not increase the number of housing units available, then because there are so many people in need of housing, the price of our existing housing will go up and up and up. Just like when there's not enough oil available, the price of gas goes up. When there's not enough eggs in production, the price of eggs go up. When there's not enough housing, the price of housing goes up. And this is untenable for our residents. We all have our own experiences with this. Residents who are on fixed incomes, like our seniors, or who are struggling just to pay their current rent, will be pushed out of their homes. In other words, if we do nothing, if we don't build, our residents will suffer greatly. That is why we must grow, so that we can keep affordable housing available in our city. As you may recall, in addition to inclusive growth, I talked a lot in my last State of the City address about landlord accountability. Our residents deserve to live in affordable, safe, healthy, and high quality homes. And man, we've come a long way since then. With the help of you all, and I'll give a shout out to Wilder Lease Bermudez, Liam Brennan, and members of the Fair Rent Commission and Livable Cities Initiative teams, we have not only put absentee landlords on notice, but we've brought them to account. You've seen it in the news, I am sure. If you are a landlord that takes care of your property, we love you. We're grateful that you're investing in our city. But if you're a landlord that doesn't take care of your property, we're coming for you. We've reinvigorated our housing code enforcement efforts. We've focused Livable Cities initiative work on inspections and expanded LCI's capacity and capabilities to get the job done for our residents. We're adding more housing inspectors, streamlining LCI's processes and turnaround time, and have enacted new legislation that increases the potential fines for serious health and safety violations. Now, instead of a one-time $250 slap on the wrist that frankly was just the cost of doing business, we've increased fines to up to $2,000 per day. And guess what? It is working. On top of that, I was proud to sign the new legislation that you all passed that will strengthen our tenants union ordinance, lowering the organizing threshold from 10 units to per property to 5 units. This will enable residents in 24,000 units citywide to have the option of forming a tenants union. And in the same legislation, we're going to strengthen tenants' protections against landlord retaliation, like unfair rent. That's a plaza. Like unfair rent increases and prematurely ending leases that unnecessarily leave families scrambling to find a roof over their head. And for residents who are struggling to find housing and are currently unhoused, with numbers climbing both locally and nationally, we've built even more supports and will continue to extend compassion, care, and services to help residents get back on their feet. Whether it's opening a new rest center in Edgewood that provides someone in their moment of crisis a place to go, or whether it's adding yet another eighth shelter on Grand Avenue run by Upon This Rock Ministries, New Haven does more than any other city in Connecticut to help those that are unhoused, and for that we should feel proud. I want to thank Alder Hamilton and Alder Cupo in particular for your ward's hospitality in saying yes in my backyard, YIMBY, instead of not in my backyard, NIMBY, to welcome our most vulnerable residents. That takes courage, and I'm grateful for you all and your leadership there. So housing is so important, and we need to ensure New Haven continues to be a place where people want to live. We need safe streets. We need a growing local economy, good schools that connect our students to career opportunities, vibrant communities, and a high quality of life for our residents. So I want to talk about public safety. Our first responders, police, fire, PSAP, medical, are working around the clock to keep our residents and communities safe. Our 911 call center fielded over 140,000 calls last year. Think about that. 100, that's almost 400 calls a day. 140,000 calls last year. We are the largest call center in the state by volume. Deploying police, fire, medical, Elm City Compass into crisis situations. People calling for help often in their worst moments in their lives, and our first responders rising to the occasion time and time again to protect and support and care for our residents in their moment of need. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of our police department and public safety partners, violent crime and gun violence continue to decline in the Elm City. Last year, the overall number of firearm-related incidents, fatal shootings, non-fatal shootings, and shots fired declined by nearly 25%. And over the last 5 years, it's declined by over 31%. Our multi-pronged approach to gun violence is working. Community-based policing, state-of-the-art technology, violence prevention and interruption programs, and community resources to support individuals experiencing life challenges, changes, and traumas all are contributing to our successes. And after a local and nationwide spike in property crime, specifically car theft, often followed by dangerous joyriding, those numbers are now on the decline as well. This past year, we reduced car thefts by 15%. Now, while we're making a lot of progress, let's not sugarcoat things. We have a lot more work to do to confront gun violence, to ensure that our young people have both opportunity and appropriate accountability, and to ensure the neighborhoods are safe. But more help is on the way. Our new police contract will enable us to retain our officers, attract new ones, expand the overall ranks of the department. Right, Chief? You happy, Chief? That means more walking beats, bike beats, stronger bonds with the community. The contract is already working, and we haven't even formally signed it yet. We're close. Um, as an example, nearly 30 of our officers were expected to retire or leave the department at the end of 2024, but instead 22 stayed on with the New Haven Police Department. We're also getting closer to to the goal of installing 500 new cameras across the city. Critical technology that's helping our police stop and solve crimes, like the sexual predator who assaulted a woman while she was jogging in Edgewood Park, where a combination of different cameras provided critical evidence that helped positively identify the suspect, who was then linked with a second sexual assault, a cold case from 2018. That predator is now off the streets and will soon face his next day in court. Or the two individuals who shot four people on Halloween. Thanks to the newly installed cameras, arrests were made that same night. Over 300 cameras have been installed already, with an additional 20 to 25 coming online every month. This year, we'll begin to install new red light and speed safety cameras near a number of our schools and some of our most dangerous intersections. This will help deter dangerous driving and hold individuals accountable who recklessly put our children and residents at risk. I want to give a shout out to Alder Wingate for your leadership with the task force and on the Public Safety Committee. Thank you. We've also strengthened our collaboration with our neighboring municipalities and the Connecticut State Police with the establishment of our Joint Regional Task Force on Auto Theft. Working together, 10 cities and towns assigned dedicated officers to participate in regular meetings, share information and intelligence, coordinate joint operations to apprehend individuals stealing cars, and connect young people to services and supports that help redirect them from this type of behavior. Since the task force launched in October, they've recovered 43 stolen vehicles, made 68 arrests, and seized 18 firearms. And this collaboration is just getting started. And once again, we'll be leading the charge at the state capitol to provide municipalities with more enforcement tools and larger fines to address illegal dirt bike, ATV, and street takeovers. Last year, it passed the state house, and this year, we're going to redouble our efforts to make sure that it passes the Senate as well. Shifting gears to the local economy. New Haven continues to be a destination of choice for new businesses, a hub for growing industries, and a driver for innovation economy that is powering our future. A couple of months ago, we topped off the construction at the Neuroscience Center at Yale New Haven Hospital. And as you recall, this was an agreement penned by Madam President, former Mayor Tony Harp, and hospital CEO Marna Borgstrom. An $838 million, 500,000 square foot facility and transformational investment in our city. In addition to providing state-of-the-art medical care for New Haven residents, the center will also strengthen the city as a hub for advancements and innovation in medicine and science. And of course, it's providing hundreds of construction jobs and new permanent jobs upon completion. And this year, we anticipate breaking ground on the new bioscience building at the former Coliseum site, a $200 million, 200,000 square foot medical lab building that will house early stage and established life science companies engaged in cutting edge research and development. For some, it's hard to see how the growth in biosciences and life sciences impacts the lives of our residents. And so I'd like to take a moment to explain why this is so important to our city. First, of course, we know about the construction jobs, and we're also interested in long-term jobs too. Our kids should see themselves working inside these buildings as future lab technicians, scientists, innovators. And that is why this year we launched BioCity, a New Haven Public School classroom inside 101 College Street. New Haven Public School students are learning from instructors at Southern Connecticut State University and Gateway Community College in spaces alongside scientists that are discovering cutting edge medical advancements. The space is so cool. And if you haven't seen it, you got to see it. And the third reason this is important is that 100 College Street, the city's first significant bioscience construction project, pays over $5.6 million in taxes a year. For comparison, our library budget is $5.4 million. The taxes from that one building are the equivalent of the entire library budget. As the building next door, 101 College Street, phases in, it will pay a comparable amount in taxes as well. New Haven's biosciences and life sciences sector isn't just providing more opportunities for New Haven residents, but it's helping drive our budget, critical for paying for many of the important services that we in this room want to deliver to our community. And of course, while we continue to welcome growth from neuroscience, life science, bioscience, and quantum industries, we know that, of course, the heartbeat of our community and local economy will always be our small businesses. We have nearly 700 active small businesses located across the city. There's so many local gems to shop at, eat at, and enjoy, which is why we're always encouraging people to shop small and shop local. And by the way, we have some incredible anniversaries this year. 100 years at Frank Pepere's Pizzeria, 50 years at Claire's Cornucopia, 25 years at La Labella Ethiopian Restaurant. I frequent the food cart there. I highly recommend it. And of course, many other small businesses, whether they've been here a long time or are brand new. Whether you're a startup or a scaling business, the city's Small Business Resource Center is constantly working to support local entrepreneurs and provide free business classes, one-on-one small business counseling, technical assistance, access to capital, and networking and mentoring opportunities. In fact, working in partnership with the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven and the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, we've supported almost 400 small businesses since that partnership began, with a particular focus on our historically marginalized Black and Brown and female entrepreneurs. We also show businesses that New Haven is a good place to invest and grow by demonstrating that we have our own fiscal house in order. And I'm so proud of the work that we have done together in partnership, the alters, in my administration, taking our city from the financial brink to a position of greater financial strength that exists today, delivering 5 straight years of balanced budgets and 3 straight years of bonding increases. Together, we're ensuring our budget reflects our values, provides residents with the essential city services they need today, and protects the city's long-term financial health in the future. A special thank you to Finance Committee Chair Alder Marchand for your partnership and steady hand at the wheel. Last year, I mentioned that in New Haven, we have a promise that kids who choose to can go to college, but that we also need a promise so that every child has a pathway to success, no matter what they do. That's why we're aggressively expanding our Career Pathways program at New Haven Public Schools. New Haven Public Schools now offers 18 different industry certifications to students because we know that exploring career opportunities motivates students to attend school and succeed academically. I've already talked about BioCity, but there is more. This year, we'll be opening a new manufacturing lab and program at Hill House High School. Alder Hogan, whose house? There you go. There you go. Maybe a little bit more oomph next time, Alder Hogan. There it is. Through a unique blend of academic learning and hands-on experience, students will soon have the opportunity to jumpstart their post-secondary education by earning 22 college credits, while also gaining industry certifications for high-demand jobs within the manufacturing sector. The goal, create a seamless pathway from education to employment so that upon high school graduation, our young people are workforce ready and in a position to excel in today's competitive job market. By the way, did you know that New Haven Public Schools currently offers 42 concurrent enrollment courses where students study with New Haven Public School teachers who are certified to teach college level courses and get college credit? This number is up from 11 such courses just a few years ago. And our team continues to make steady progress on the vision of a tech school in New Haven. And we have our sights on the Gough Street Armory as a potential home for such school. I know this is important to so many of you in the room, as it is to me. We're excited about the potential such a school can have for so many of our young people. And while at school, no matter what they're studying, we want our kids focused and learning. We don't want them distracted by their cell phones, right, Alders? Social media, texting, other nonsense, right? We want them focused on school. Beginning this spring, all elementary and middle schools will be cell phone free. And this fall, all high schools will be cell phone free. Thank you, Dr. Negron, for your leadership here. Thank you to the Board of Alders for securing the funding to help support this initiative. And thank you to, in particular, the principals of the schools that piloted this program to show that it really works and benefits the young people. While our students are beginning to make academic gains after the pandemic, we know we still have a lot more work to do. We've got a long way to go. Many of our students are struggling. Many young people are disconnected from school and the workforce, and many of our educators are burnt out. We have got to give our students, teachers, and schools the resources and support they need so that our learners can thrive. As a city, we've put our money where our mouth is, and I'm grateful to this body for your support in this effort. Our city has increased our local contribution to our schools by 50% over these past 5 years. Meanwhile, aside from one-time COVID spending, the state spending to public schools hasn't even kept up with inflation. Can you think of anything that hasn't gone way up in cost over these past 10 years? I can't. Our city is doing our part, and we need the state to do its part. That's why we're helping to lead the charge alongside other municipalities to urge the state to increase its funding to schools, particularly Connecticut's high need students, which represents over 80% of New Haven's student population. Our delegation has been heroes when it comes to bringing more funds to our city. We need to see Governor Lamont and the General Assembly take a bold step to actually provide an appropriate amount of funding to public schools so that students have a true opportunity at an equal education. Housing, public safety, education, in these areas, we've made incredible progress together. And we've got more work to do. And we have so much more work to do in other areas as well, confronting climate change at a time when federal leadership is non-existent, ensuring safe streets, pedestrians, cyclists, and other users, creating beautiful, welcoming spaces for all of our residents in New Alameda, along Blatchley Street or Grand Avenue, along Wharf Park and waterfront that wows our residents and has something for everyone to enjoy, the New Haven Green that invites even more positive activity and amenities, a new bathhouse and playground at Lighthouse Park, a new youth and community center at Trowbridge Square, a new community center next to Adult Ed's new home on Bassett Street. The list goes on and on. The work is ahead of us. We've made so much progress, but we have more work to do. Every year brings new opportunities and new challenges. Some are anticipated and known, and others are not. Undoubtedly, 2025 will be a year of challenge. There are the challenges that we're certain of, centered around housing, public safety, ensuring equal opportunity for education, financial challenges. But what's on all of our minds, particularly in these last 2 weeks, is this new challenge we face, one that will bring incredible uncertainty and instability. The Trump administration will attempt to test our values and threaten to cut funding from programs that our residents, particularly our most vulnerable, deeply rely on, in an attempt to break us, to weaken our resolve, to turn us against each other. We will be presented with impossible and unethical choices. They'll try to force us to choose between eliminating our Black and Brown contractor and entrepreneurship program or lose significant funding that benefits all in our community. Or a choice to either allow a young transgender athlete to play high school sports or lose massive amounts of school funding that all of our students rely on. Or a choice to co opt our police department to hunt down good, hardworking community members who also happen to be immigrants or lose public safety funding that will make our city more dangerous. You see, these choices are created by design. They're intended to divide us, to pit us one against the other. And we will not let that happen. To the Trump administration, New Haven stands together because let's be clear, this is America. The diversity in this room is not some DEI initiative, it is America. The Lunar New Year Festival that we celebrated last weekend, where we had hundreds of residents coming out to celebrate our Asian American community members. That is America. The Iris Run for Refugees next weekend, where hundreds more will come together to celebrate our country's time-tested tradition of welcoming people from countries in conflict. That is America. The Juneteenth celebration on the New Haven Green, where we acknowledge and own our nation's history. That is America. The Pride Festival, the Puerto Rican Festival, the Italian American Festival, St. Patrick's Day Parade, the fact that we have the Kwanzaa sign right next to the menorah, right next to the Christmas tree, and we celebrate them all together in New Haven. That is America. New Haven is America. And while we will be tested, and we will have to make difficult decisions as a community, we will not waver from our values. We will proudly stand as one. Madam President, alders, and my fellow community members, in these difficult times, I am so grateful and proud to live in this city we call home. We have so much work ahead of us, but I'm confident we are ready for the year 2025, whatever it may bring, because we are united together, working towards a city where everyone will have the opportunity to thrive. Thank you.